So I've arrived here in Madeira, left at 2 a.m. this morning at home, flew over here and just drove all the way around the island to this spot for our place where we are staying this week. I'm saying our place because I'm not here on my own. I'm here with Chris I. Walker, another OM System ambassador. And before you are going to bash me with, are you shooting something secret? No, there's nothing, absolutely nothing secret. We're actually here shooting a new promo video for the 8-25 f4 wide angle lens. So OM System is replacing all the old footage on the website, especially because a lot of it is still with Olympus stuff on it, and of course it has to be OM System. So we were sent out here to record a promo video about this lens. So this is what I'm going to use a lot these days, and that's what I packed my bag for. So I only have the 8-25 and the 50-200 2.8 with me, but yeah, the whole video that we're shooting is going to be about this. So all around the shooting things, the material that OM System needs for their promotions, we are going to do some stuff for ourselves. So it's now the start of the afternoon. It's like 2 p.m. something like that, and if you look behind me here, it's kind of a strange island because it's clear blue skies on the south side. We are located just amongst the hills here, but all of that is the south side, which is sunny. And if I turn you around, that is the north side, and you can see there is a lot of mood and atmosphere and fog and stuff up there that might be really interesting. So in a couple of minutes we are planning to do some scouting, probably gonna drive up to the Fanal Forest to see if we can catch the first shots of today. Probably return pretty early because we're both pretty exhausted. We both left at 2 a.m. this morning, so we're not gonna make it a really long day today, but let's see what we can get. So this is the famous Fanal Forest here on Madeira, and it is like the strangest day ever. Look at me, I'm completely soaked right now. We were just sitting nicely in a town there having lunch about an hour ago, blue skies, t-shirts on, nice weather, and we were like, it was 2 a.m. when we got up, but we thought let's scout a little bit and see what this area has to offer. So we drove the 20-minute ride to the Fanal Forest, and we drove into this immense thick cloud of fog and rain and mood and atmosphere, and we were like, we have to shoot this right now just in case we don't come across conditions like this anymore this week. And just look at this composition that I just found. You can see these roots here in the bottom leading your eye towards this center tree. Then I placed that left tree, this one, underneath that branch, so I'm making sure that that isn't intersecting. And then you get these trees over here that look really, really interesting. Chris is just sitting over there at the moment. But there are so many opportunities. Just look at this shot. Really, really cool. You know, I've heard stories of people coming to this forest for a week and getting no fog, and we just go up here on a random scouting trip, first meters, and we immediately get this. So absolutely crazy. So I'm gonna take 2 images here, one of the left side and one of the right side, and because it was just a scouting trip, I did not even bring the tripod, so I only have the camera. Absolute crazy conditions. So yeah, first 2 images here from Madeira. Wow, what a spot. So just when we started to enjoy ourselves in Fanal Forest, a crazy rainstorm hit us and we were completely soaked. We had to hide underneath some trees and protect our equipment. But even from that spot, you could photograph some fantastic images.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's a lot of rain.
So I found another really nice spot here, and this is a good example of a composition and how I look at it. And just look at this tree. I'm going to turn you. Just look at this tree over here behind me. And do you see that spot over here that's coming down? And the tree behind it, if you get a bit lower, you can see you can fit it exactly in that spot. So that's what I'm trying to do with this composition over here. I think it works really, really good. So this is it. So it's such a difficult location to photograph, especially without any knowledge. You know, this trip was supposed to be to get some knowledge so we can use it later this week. But when the conditions are here, but it just feels like we're walking in the blind. You know, just look at the opposite side here. You know, this is what we are walking, and then all of a sudden an area like this pops up. So you see this remarkable tree over here with a fantastic shape. I was just trying to get some sort of anchor in with this shape, and then the other one in the back, but it's just extremely difficult to see an image. You know, it would be nice if we had the knowledge, knew where the best trees were, and search for a couple of compositions and then get back here on a foggy day. But right now, you know, it's just walking in the blind, making the best of what we got. I can hear frogs in the back here. I don't know if you can hear them with the wind, but you can hear those frogs, and there probably is a big lake somewhere here. So I'm gonna stand a little bit out of the wind so you can still hear me, but yeah, let's see if we can find a composition here. Then this is the shot, and then I'm gonna walk towards that lake. Maybe there's a nice reflection there. Who knows? So yeah, what a great day. Fantastic. So just look at this absolutely insane tree over here, and the wind is just absolutely crazy, and I just wanted to do something with all those tree trunks over here. I think this is a pretty nice composition. You can see that going around here, but my eye spotted this corner over here. And then I thought, what if I angle the camera up here, use this as a foreground here on the bottom, my frame is a bit higher, and then you get this leading line going all the way down there and turning around. So it's a bit like this maybe. You can see how much that tree trunk is moving in the wind. You know, that's not me shaking the camera. Look at this. This is the tree blowing all over to the left and the right. But I really love those mosses. But I remember this composition for a different day when there's a little bit less wind. Because I definitely need to focus tag this. I'm keeping the shutter speed up high with a bit of a higher ISO. But there's no way I can stack it right now so that I can get those leaves here in the foreground into focus and the background there in focus. You know, I'm trying to do my best at f8, so I'm going to show the image in a minute. f8 with this leading line with the foreground. I'm just waiting for the wind to drop, then take my shots. Crazy, what a spot. And imagine it's now like 6 p.m. in the afternoon. I woke up at 2 a.m. this morning. 2 a.m. Drove to Amsterdam, took the plane over here, settled in our house for this week, and now we're standing here in one of the most amazing places I have ever seen. So wow, what a week is this going to be. Just look at this scene here. Gotta be a bit careful. You see there a couple of calves here lying around, and these bulls, they got big horns, but look at this one, perfectly aligned with this tree that if you zoom into something like this, wow, that is a really nice shot. I'm just waiting for a proper pose of the mother and the calf, and then I'm gonna take my shot. And it's also a little less foggy down here, which actually means that you can see those lush greens a lot better. So I'm really liking this shot here. And look at that mother and calf. The mother is just licking the calf dry a little bit. You know, it's been soaking wet, as you can see. I'm not sure if I ever photographed this long in conditions like this, but yeah, it's all possible with OM system gear, fully weather sealed. So that is a good thing. You know, I have to keep my lens cloth in my pocket because every time there is drops of water on the lens. But yeah, wow, what a location, what a day. A fantastic start to a already crazy day here in Madeira. So we were just driving back from the Fanal Forest, and just look on the other side of the mountain here. You got clear blue sky, so it's just on the top of that mountain where the forest is, where all that fog and mood and atmosphere is. But then we're driving down, and all of a sudden there is this huge rainbow here. Hope you can see it in the background, like a full rainbow from the left to the right. A minute ago there was even a double one. But it looks amazing, and look at those really thick dark clouds above it. And I'm just framing those trees here in my foreground so that they fit exactly underneath the rainbow. You know, how lucky can you get? Such a lot of fog and then so much color with a rainbow. Bit of luck on the way back, but yeah, we're taking it. So this is the rainbow shot. So I'm at the coastline here, as you can see, and we just have this epic sea stack here, and I hope you can hear me because the wind is full blowing out from sea towards me. So I'm trying to get, let me reposition a little bit so you can hopefully hear me. And you know, that's what it's all about, that sea stack over there. But just look down the beach at all that mood and atmosphere. You know, it's a little bit of fog and a little bit of spray lighting up by the sunlight. And of course I'm here to record a promo video, so I can't film everything I do. But I think Chris made some really nice B-roll footage. But yeah, the first priority on this trip is taking the image in the best possible light. And as you can imagine, on those rocks, slippery, 2 cameras, filming equipment, it's really, really difficult. So I think I got a couple of nice shots here where I try to use the boulders, try to use the leading lines of the coast here. And if you're wondering, or gonna spam my comments like, oh, you're shooting a tripod with a camera strap, you know, these rocks, as you can see, are extremely slippery. The wind is really hard and I don't want it to break my camera. So this is my safety measure. And I'm pretty sure that these images will come out really nicely, pin sharp in focus. So yeah, these are the pictures of the sea stack and of that light of the beach. It's absolutely crazy. You know, Madeira is just a completely different world for someone coming from the Netherlands. So these are the shots of this beach. Fantastic. So I'm still at this beautiful sea stack location, and the view here is just absolutely crazy. In any direction you're looking, it's just fantastic. And just look in the background there about all that mood and atmosphere that is hitting that peninsula, that's coming out into the water with all those light rays. You know, it looks absolutely epic. And while I was thinking about shooting that, I noticed all these beautiful flowers here. And May, we're in May at the moment, is one of the best months in Madeira for the flowers. Most flowers are in full bloom now, so that is a really good thing. And I just tried to include this white flower that Chris is shooting right now. He's just stealing my shot. So just look at the other side.
Taking the shot again.
Yeah. You see, I just tried to make a frame like this with that white flower on the right, and then all that mood and atmosphere on the left side with that peninsula. It's a little bit far away, but as a 16:9, removing that foreground here, I think it actually looks kind of cool. So this is that shot with that flower on the right, and then on the left side, and yeah, those sea stacks are actually in the shadow right now, so not that interesting. So focusing on this, absolutely crazy. So I guess there's worse places to work than on Madeira, you know. Work, you know, it's absolutely crazy that I can call this a work trip. But yeah, fantastic photo shoot there at the start of the morning, next to the beach with those sea stacks. Amazing light. You know, we couldn't have wished for something better. And yeah, we're gonna explore the island a little bit today to see what is going on, just like yesterday when we ran into that crazy stuff at Fanal. So yeah, let's see if we can find anything more. We just stopped for a bit of coffee, at least coffee for Chris, and now we're off to see what is next. So yeah, let's see. So we're just driving down the road and we found this beautiful village that you can see here on that peninsula. But if you look all the way out there, you know, it gets really moody and really nice. So I was thinking maybe I can shoot like a massive panel to include everything there. But of course I left the tripod in the car. So it's going to be quite interesting. There are some walls down here, or how do you call them, fences next to the road, guard rails, railing, that's the right word I think. And I think if I place the camera on that, I can keep the horizon steady and just shoot all that nice mood and atmosphere in one single image. Just look at this view here, you know, with all those beautiful flowers in the foreground here. Chris is just trying to take some flower close-up shots. And I'm just noticing that the sun is pushing through the clouds here, and you can see it on the ocean here, that there's like a light spot, and that light spot is moving in that direction because the clouds are moving in that direction. And I figured that if I waited here for like 5, maybe 10 minutes, you know, we're not in a hurry, that light might hit that town. And I think that is a shot worth waiting for. As I'm sitting here, that spot on the ocean gets bigger and bigger. So yeah, if this is going to work out, it's going to be really crazy. But yeah, sometimes, you know, the art is in the waiting. So we found a couple of random viewpoints here along the north coast of Madeira, and these are really fantastic, but we didn't film everything. So this was one of those viewpoints. And while you're looking at this footage, I want to remind you about this month's challenge, all about repeating patterns and shapes. So if you have some images left, make sure to upload them before the end of this month through my website. I'm looking forward to see what you are creating. So we just left the coastline and we drove over the mountains, which is absolutely ridiculous. Just look at this mountain scene over here. I took a couple of very interesting wide angle shots of some roads in the bottom, but then we passed this section here with all these flowers, and it's just so good to create an image with these flowers in the foreground and then that huge mountain there as a backdrop. You know, it's crazy. Just have a look. I'm gonna try to show you what I'm trying to photograph. So you see, these are the flowers, and I don't want these white roadblocks to be in the frame, so I'm just trying to get a shot a bit like this with those pink flowers and then that peaks in the background. I think that's like really nice, and I just spent like 15 to 20 minutes here around this flower patch here, and I'm just trying to make some video footage for the video that we're actually making here. So yeah, it's a really nice spot and something totally different, something I don't often do. So I've got a lot of shots with a lot of bokeh in the background, so very blurry backgrounds, but very much focus on these flowers and those bees and all the stuff. So I think it's really nice. These are the shots. So we were just driving down the road towards the Fanal Forest when I looked to the right from the road and I saw this absolute massive tree here, very secluded in the middle of the forest. And there's not really a path here, it's only thick thorny bushes here, so I'm quite sure that this is not the most common composition here in Fanal. But just look at this business. You see, I've found these two trees here, but just look at this branch up here. Goes all the way down, and I'm trying to frame a shot which is gonna be a bit like this. And my shot is a bit higher, so you get this very large branch going through the complete image, and then that really thick tree there on the left. And right now the fog is returning, so today the fog is coming and going, so that is basically a pretty nice thing. And just let me show you the back of the camera, a little bit the composition that I had in mind. You see, this is what I am trying to photograph, so it looks really, really awesome. So yeah, first shot of Fanal today. Wow, what a tree, absolutely awesome. So this is it, the weird crispy tree. So look at this tree behind us, it's absolutely insane, and we're literally walking off the beaten tracks here. You know, there's no trails. We just wandered through the forest a little bit after that first tree, and we're thinking maybe there's some more, and you could just see the canopy of this thing sticking out above the lower bushes around it. So we're like, okay, let's get over there, and then we found this thing, and just look at it. If only we would have had trees like this in the Netherlands. Absolutely crazy shapes over here. And I just took a couple of shots. I think the best one is going to be a frame like this, where I used this whole branch towards the tree. Looked really crazy. And another shot actually took between those two branches here, so it's a little bit like this, angling down a little bit. So I'm not really sure which one of those two works best. The fog is starting to increase now, so I'm gonna take the shot again with the fog. I think this tree deserves to be popped out a little bit more. Absolutely crazy. So yeah, let me work the scene a little bit. And I show you the final result. So we hiked up that forest a little bit, but couldn't find much more than those two fantastic first trees. So eventually we got out of the forest and ended up at the same spot as where we were yesterday. So this is the open, boring spot of the Fanal Forest. Again, fog. You know, who wants that? So yeah, we're just gonna try and explore a bit of a different section, although it's really hard to think what we've seen yesterday because we literally couldn't see anything yesterday. So a bit exhausted from that forest. So if you're new to this channel and you don't know much about me, let me tell you one thing. The people watching these videos nicknamed me the Fogman. Well, even the Fogman has its limits. You know, look at this business here. Crazy, absolute crazy. Probably the most crazy conditions I have photographed in. You know, the fog isn't even the problem, but the wind and the wind chill. Absolute crazy. So Chris is just up there now. Oh, what a day, what a trip. I love it, I absolutely love it. So I walked down from the hill behind me. You can see I'm standing on this really steep slope here. The other side is even steeper and there were some signs that it was dangerous. So we thought, let's not push ourselves too much. So we walked down on this side. And it's an area that we haven't seen yesterday, but I do like this grouping of trees here. Look at this. I'm particularly interested in this tree, this little set, and then this one, and then I'll stop the image over there. But you do have that lush green top there that I really like. So that's what I'm trying to look for, and it's you can't overexpose it on this side. You see at the bottom there, it's a little bit of dark grey. At the top it's like really white. So if you overexpose this image, you get normally you get the sky there to blow out. But in this case, because I'm just zooming in, let me try to zoom in so you can show. Like something like this, you see that I don't include the sky in my shots. It's only those darker grays, and these actually work pretty nice for this image. So yeah, another day in the foggy Fanal Forest. You know, we just thought, let's go again. Maybe we'll get lucky again for the second time in a row. You know, absolute crazy. So, gonna take this shot. This is it. So I'm at the other angle of the same tree, so I was just photographing it from up the hill downwards. Then I was passing it, I was thinking, this looks nice also. You see, if you look at that slope going down, it looks really cool with those trees on the right side. But the wind is so high that every time I have to wait for the wind to drop a little bit to catch a shot. You know, it's impossible to get those leaves in focus due to all the motion. So that's what I'm waiting for. But yeah, it's just crazy. It's absolute crazy. But just look at the shot. If you look at that like this, it starts to rain now. I think this is a bit the shot that I had in mind. I think it looks absolutely epic, and this is just a slope, so yeah, that's why it's diagonally like that, but that makes it really interesting if you ask me. So while you can see me capture a different composition, I want to remind you about the monthly challenges. So this month it's going to be all about the repeating pattern. So you can just send your image in today, the last day of May, Sunday the 31st. And the new challenge is going to be about new beginnings. So if you didn't upload your file yet, just upload it now. And don't forget to vote within the next few days for May's challenge. Looking forward to see your images. So within a few seconds, all the fog just lifted from this forest, and for the first time in 2 days, we've walked around here for hours right now. The first time we can see what the place looks like, and we just looked at each other and we both had something like, oh, it's much smaller than we thought, When it was foggy, we were like walking from one tree to the next, and it looked like really, really big. But now you can see what it really looks like, and honestly it's actually quite boring without the fog. So I guess we were just absolutely lucky these 2 days. So we got our shots of Fanal. I think I'm really happy with some of them. So yeah, let's see if we can find something else on the remaining days here. 4 days left. 4 days left here on the beautiful Madeira. Wow. Absolutely crazy. So, and this is how quickly things change around here. I just made a clip of no fog, and like 2 minutes later, the whole place is covered with fog again. Crazy. So maybe we will get one last shot. Let's see. So I found another composition, a lot of people around, especially children. Just look at all those people here. But I'm just gonna try and talk you through this composition because I think it's absolutely worth it. Just look at this set of trees. So I'm just talking about this one, this beautiful one, and the one in the back. And I just figured that if you just get low enough, you can see that those trees fit that gap, and this branch fits that tree like perfectly. I actually think that looks really nice and cool. So just gonna take this shot, waiting for these people to pass by, then I'm gonna take it. All these people are looking at me, what a weirdo. But yeah, definitely amongst my favorite compositions here, just because of this jigsaw puzzle pieces fitting together. Something that I always really like. So yeah, everyone's passed now, so I'm gonna take the shot. This is it. this is our third day here in Madeira. We're still doing our promotional video for our own system. I'm here with Chris Walker and we're having a great time. But yeah, today is a bit of a difficult day I have to say, because we wanted to start at the highest peak, 1862 meters, but it was completely covered in fog, heavy rain, and we decided to drop that idea and go here to the coast. Took a little bit longer, but at least we didn't miss a sunrise, because as you can see, it's a completely clouded day. Every now and then a little patch of light comes through, as you can see there, far away on the horizon there. There's some light on the ocean, and yeah, every now and then a little bit hits a part. If I turn you around, just look at the distance there. Some light is hitting Funchal. That's the capital and the airport. And if you look behind me here, you can see this is actually a fantastic spot for a sunrise. So sunrise will be about there somewhere. So you can get some absolutely dramatic light on these cliffs. Still pretty decent shot. So I am gonna take an image here. And what I had in mind, just so you can see, brighten up the screen a little bit. You see, this is about the shot that the composition that I like. You know, it's a little bit straightforward. You can't do anything else than this here. But yeah, a little bit of night light would be nice. So maybe that patch in the horizon, maybe it will hit, maybe not. You'll never know. But yeah, we're gonna use this morning to explore a little bit, and hopefully we've got 3 days left here. We can come back here with some decent light. But yeah, I think this is already a pretty nice image, even without the light, you know, with the dramatic clouds, the dramatic rock formations, beautiful sea. So yeah, this is the shot I took from here, and let's see where today is gonna take us. Hopefully the weather will improve a little bit. So the funny thing is that this video is all about the 8-25 f4 wide angle lens. Not a new one, just existing lens, you know, nothing new. So that's why we are here making some promo material for this specific lens. And as it is about this lens, I figured maybe I should just keep it on the camera and just focus on this. So in the past 2 videos, you've hardly seen any photos with a different lens than this one. And I'm kind of enjoying myself. You know, the landscape is suitable for a lens like this. You know, that's why we went all the way out here and didn't make the video, for example, in the Netherlands. But I'm starting to see more and more of these wide angle compositions. So let me show you this next shot that I found, because I really like this one. So just look on the other side here. You can see it's a dramatic landscape. It looks absolutely epic. And I just noticed these couple of flowers here in the foreground, and I was just thinking, if I can, I'm gonna try to show you if I can do this with the Osmo. I thought if I put the wide angle like inside this flower, I get this peninsula with the island, the dramatic coast, some interest in the foreground. I think it looks really, really cool if I place the lens like this. So that's what I'm trying to do here with all that wind. And I'm not willing to go anywhere closer to the edge here. No image is worth getting injured for, or even worse. So yeah, kind of like this shot. And this is it. So I'm back at the parking with Chris, and we were just looking at the island, and it kind of explains a bit how this place works. Just if I turn you around, just look at it. So we're now standing at the far east corner, and you can see two worlds colliding here. You can see the blue skies on the south coast with some light hitting the towns there, probably some really decent weather. But when I turn the camera to the north coast, you can see that's where all the bad weather comes in, you know, that's where the harsh conditions are, the rain, the fog and all that stuff. And somewhere up there are like 1800 meter high peaks that are fantastic, but not with this weather coming in. We need some more clear skies to get up there, but this is like a really nice view of the island, like, yeah, good and bad side, you know. And that's why the south side is so many people living there, and the north side is rugged, it's rough, there's not too many houses. So if you're here for photography, north side, that's where you want to be. South side is for the tourists, so photographers up there, that side. So we just found this really cool spot over here. We drove down and it just looked like this S-curved road, so there's a small parking. We parked in there, and I'm just photographing this road here, S-curved, with all that mood and atmosphere in the background. And I just said to Chris, can you just walk, you can still see him walk back there, walk to the top of that left hill that's just inside the corner right here. And it just gives this very small human element to the picture. You got this very huge landscape, and then it's him just walking through it. And it just looks absolute crazy. So if you look at the scene like this, just imagine it's zoomed in a little bit so you don't have those windmills. The shot will be a bit like this, and you can just see Chris here walking up, but he was just standing on that ledge over here, creating that human element in the picture. Absolute crazy. What a island, what a location. And all of a sudden the wind has dropped, you know. So it's completely crazy all day long, and I can just see, if you just look over here, look above Chris, look at this rain coming on here. So yeah, this is what it is all day long. You can call it fate, but while standing there, the exact same car as my Mega Wide drove up this S-curve, and I just couldn't resist taking this picture. So we found this amazing waterfall. It's in the middle of the day, so we're actually looking for spots like this where we don't have to have some nice light, you know. It's a really nice waterfall, some soft light, all the greens are wet, so really vibrant colors. And you can see it behind me, it's almost like the perfect waterfall. It's like a round circle pool at the bottom, perfect height for it. There's some small steps on the bottom here. So yeah, we are definitely happy that we found this waterfall. And this is only a 5-minute hike. 5 minutes. Our waterfalls here like hours and hours of hiking, and this just seemed perfect to show this and to test live MD and all that stuff. So yeah, let's see if we can find a shot here at this waterfall. So I seem to have found a way down from the bridge, and you can see there's a little path here, but it's all real sketchy, and I'm just sitting on the side of the water here. You can see here at my feet. So I'm trying to find a position where I can use this as a foreground. You see, I've got now 2 waterfalls up here, and you see when I move back a little bit, I can include this right section here, which creates a bit of interest here instead of that dark spot here in my right bottom. So I'm going to try to compose the shot a bit like this, and then I'm going to use the live ND filter, which is pretty well possible. I'm going to take like a second of a shot probably, and there are some leaves going to be blurry, you know, that is, no matter what happens at a waterfall, those leaves are moving due to the wind blowing away from it. So yeah, I think that is really cool, and yeah, I'm just going to take the shot. Hopefully it's worth this effort, and this is it. I just took another shot, and can you see where Chris is standing? You see, that's where I was standing like just a minute ago. And when you get really low, you can get this waterfall here in your foreground, and like really close up in your foreground. So I'm gonna try to show you. Chris is trying to film the shot.
This is how you do it.
I'm gonna kick his balls.
What's his name again? Belgian guy?
The Belgian guy. Chris I. Walker.
Oh yeah, I got it. The stunt guy.
Oh.
The Hollywood actor. Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh yeah. So he's trying to get the shot that I was taking. So yeah. But it's a really nice angle that you can see the foreground here and the waterfall in the background. But it's really difficult. I have to handheld it like half a second. But I think I nailed the shot. So if I did, then this is it. So we just drove through this really foggy section of the forest with all these very, how do you call that, mossy, really straight trees. And this is pretty high up the mountain. I think we're over 1,000 meters high. So that's why we're entering the fog area. But we just noticed this S-curve in the road here. And just look, we just parked over there. But if you turn the camera down here, wow, that looks like a really nice shot. I always like to use those S-curves here, and every now and then a patch of fog comes rolling in and the light illuminates the scene. So I think it's just really nice. Right now the fog has disappeared a little, but every couple minutes the fog comes back. So we're just waiting for that and for a shot without the cars. I think that's going to be really nice. So just look at that light at the end of this road. Makes a really cool shot. Just standing here in the middle of the road with all those really nice straight trees. And then that foggy moodiness to it. I think that's absolutely worth a shot. So I'm gonna wait for the light to increase and then I'll take this one. And just look between all those trees here. Every now and then a different shape was amongst them, creating some really nice opportunities. And imagine that with a bit of light, and we got some amazing shots that unfortunately I did not film. So we're here on Pico de Arieiro on Madeira, and it's finally cleared. So for the first time in 3 days, and we are able to see what is going on up here. But we just ran into a bit of a problem. We just found out you have to reserve a spot to access the trail, and yeah, the biggest problem of that is that we didn't reserve a spot, and all spots are reserved for like a week. So yeah, we are not gonna risk any fines probably. Chris is gonna find out if there's a way to work around this. But honestly, we're definitely not sure, but it is a fantastic view, and maybe we can shoot a sunset here from this highest point. So this is the highest point on the island. But yeah, it's a bit of a letdown. I took one really nice shot, this time with the 50-200. So the only other lens that I brought is the 80-25 and the 50-200. And I just shot one peak that came out of the clouds, and then you could see this platform with all the people on it, on the point that we are not allowed to access. So yeah, here goes our hike. We just waited until the right conditions. We didn't even know about those trails, so yeah, that's my non-planning skills, you know, never plan something, just go somewhere, see what will happen. This is what happened. So let's hope we can figure a way around this, or else we'll just go to a different spot and do a hike there. I'm sure there are a lot more beautiful spots here in Madeira, but this view, it looks kind of nice. So yeah, this is the shot that I just took. And yeah, let's hope we can find another spot. So it's a good thing that Chris went and asked, because the first part of the trail is actually free of access. You don't have to pay for it. But yeah, it's only for like the first 500 meters. So we are going to do that. We're going to hike that trail for what is allowed, and then yeah, see what we can do after that. But I just took some epic shots here of people walking the trail. So I'm just zooming in with the 50 to 200, creating all kinds of layers and putting those hikers on without knowing it. They just became like a very good subject on my image. So yeah, I'm just gonna show you these pictures now because it looks really nice and the fog comes and goes, creates different layers. So I think that is absolutely worth it. So let's get onto that first part of the trail and hopefully it will be nice. So I think I will never get bored by the mountains. Absolutely amazing. See if we can get a shot here of that opening gap there in the background. So I think this is the most crazy trail that I have walked on. Crazy sighting points, and you can see behind me fog lifting up, or fog we're actually above the clouds, but just look what I found right on top of this mountain here. This little bird, crazy, really nice. I was actually hoping for it to walk down a little bit so I could catch it with the mountains in the background, but it's sitting quite comfortably there. So just taking a shot. I still have the 50 to 200 on at the moment. And yeah, if it looks this way, there's some pretty nice light, but for landscapes, the light is pretty harsh. So yeah, taking this shot, then I'm going to continue further down the path, see if we can find something more interesting. So I just couldn't take all the shots, or at least not talk about all the shots. It's so crazy busy on this trail. Right now it's just a little calm section here with no one on it. But it's like really crazy, you know. So many people, such high up in the mountains. Oh, all the fog, atmosphere, you know. I'm not afraid of heights, but I'm not really comfortable with this either, so. But not quite sure what we're gonna do. So just trying to catch up with Chris, who's a little bit in front of me. And then, yeah, come up with a decent plan. So just to show you how crazy this is. Just look to the right and just a little to the left. So we did come up with a plan and we hoped to get something to eat at the car. So we walked the trail back to the car. The restaurant was closed, so with just a couple of slices of bread and a bag of chips in our bellies, we decided to walk back just about 1.5 hours before sunset. But there was one little problem. It was crowded. Extremely, extremely crowded. There might have been like hundreds, maybe thousands of people walking the trail, and all those people were sitting everywhere, every corner, every spot, on every rock that was looking out over the valley. There was someone climbing on it, sitting on it. So I just couldn't find a single spot to take a photograph. Eventually I found this spot at a little gate that I found pretty interesting, and I settled for a shot where I tried to get a bit of a sun star in the frame, but I couldn't move because every time I moved someone stepped in front of me, in front of the gate, so that was a shame. But then when everyone was paying attention to the last seconds of the sunset, I just took one step back and took this next image of the gate before someone stood right in front of me and ended my sunset. just stopped at this completely abandoned road. You know, it's a dead end here due to rockfall and wildfires. You're not allowed to drive in it further. So there's absolutely no one here. The whole island is packed with tourists, but this place is completely deserted. And right next to the road here, you can see there are a couple of burned pine trees, which actually look really cool. So I was thinking maybe we can get down here, see if we can get a nice shot with the fog, the mood, and those dead trees. Might be worth it. So yeah, let's get down here, see if we can find something interesting. So we made our way down the slope on the opposite side, and we actually thought it was a pine tree forest, but there's, if you can see in the bottom here, there's like this riverbed dried out. You know, it's completely wet by all the fog and the mist. But on this side of that riverbed, you see there's all these burned, gnarly trees. And also on the other side here, look, Chris is up there. And there's these yellow flowers in between, and just look at these flowers here. Look at those thorns on them. Whoa. These are really, really sharp and sticking into me. So, but there's definitely some potential here. And I just really like this tree over here, and just look at the moodiness of it. It's like really cool with those pine trees on the left and then this tree hanging over that riverbed. But I do feel I want some more of those yellow flowers in the shot, you know. These really make for a nice contrast. So this is the first shot here. This is like a location that you have to take in for a couple of minutes, see what's going on. So this is the first shot. Let's see if I can explore just a little bit more on this totally unknown, maybe unphotographed location, but definitely one with potential. Okay, so I think this one is really nice with all those wet things, just make everything come to life. But just look at this, because this is facing downwards. You see, I was just photographing a little bit more to the right there, but now I found this tree, and I just really like those stones here with the yellow flowers, some patch of yellow flowers there underneath that branch. And there's also one tree in the background that I'm not really convinced of. So I was trying to see if I could manipulate the scene a little bit. You see, by going to this side, I make the image more about this central tree here. So you get the stones leading towards the tree, then yeah, those yellow patches there. And I think that actually works kind of nice. So I think this is going to be my second shot. And yeah, I've photographed a lot of burnt trees and burnt forests, but this is something else. Really strange vibe also with the fog. Crazy, really crazy. So I found another spot. I think this might be my favorite one until now. So if you look at this, I just came through this riverbed here, and then I found this tree that looked really nice. But you see, if I shoot it like this, there's a lot of sky in there, which I didn't really like. But if you look at this like a portrait, you know, if you plant the camera inside those yellow flowers here, it actually looks really, really cool. So I just put the camera in movie mode so you can see right next to me here what I'm doing. You can see I'm trying to get those white flowers in my foreground. My frame is a little bit wider. This is 16:9, I'm shooting 4:3. So, but I don't like the leaves of the branches of the left tree. So I'm just trying to find a spot where I can include that whole tree and probably want to go a little bit higher. So you can see that riverbed disappear in the background. And then you have these white, yellow flowers, beautiful crooked tree, riverbed leading your eye to the back. So I think there's real potential here. So this is the shot, totally soaked, but absolutely worth it. So we continued down the road just a little bit further, visited a viewpoint, but you know, with this heavy fog, there's absolutely no view possible. So maybe it's gonna clear up a little bit at the end of the day, so we have to wait for that. But just next to the road where we parked the car, we found this little section of crooked trees. And just look at this. You know, it's really foggy here, and these trees have really nice shapes, and I was just interested by this tree here with all those mosses in those branches on top. And I'm gonna zoom in a little bit further so you can see a little bit what I'm trying to frame up. So I think this will be a bit of my frame. So you get the trees here, you get this tree, and then there's some in the background also, but they're not overlapping each other. And you got these yellow flowers here in your foreground. And my tree shot is a little bit higher, it's 4:3, so it includes like this section here with all those mosses and the atmosphere of the fog. And I think that works really well. So yeah, I'm gonna take this shot. This is it. So if you're ever visiting Madeira, there's just one piece of accessory that I can recommend to anyone coming here. And just let me show it to you. A lens cloth. Oh my god, the weather, the fog. I don't think I've ever cleaned my front element of the lens more often than here in Madeira. It's just absolutely crazy. And if you're watching this series of videos and you're thinking, wow, you know, a lot of wide angle shots, indeed, it's all about this 8-25 f4 lens. Not a new lens, just new material to promote the lens. That's what we are making here, you know. Feel really privileged to be able to do this. You know, it's fantastic. And it does come with limitations, you know. My mission is to make new material with this lens. So I'm not shooting the telephoto as much, even though I know I'm might be able to get nicer images with the telephoto. I'm also shooting 4x3 frames, full sensor size frames. So I'm kind of limited in what I am supposed to do because I have to deliver material. And that's a whole new thing for me. I never had that before. But until now, so far, I think I kind of found a couple of decent images over the past few days. So I hope you are enjoying the content of this video and that you're still hanging around here with this Madeira series. And yeah, after this I will just go back to the Netherlands and do some photography there. But yeah, it's nice to be able to do photography for like a week or so in a epic location like this. So yeah, I think we got the most out of this location here. So yeah, I think we're ready to go on the road and see whatever we can find on the next stop. So just look at this business. We're at a new spot and this is a cable car going down to the coast, and just look at this business over here. There it is, the steepest cable car in Europe coming up from the coast there. There's no way that I'm gonna get on that thing for sure, but it does like a really nice image here. Just look at it. Woo. So I took a couple of images all facing downwards, and I also took one more like sidewards that I'm looking at with that on the bottom, and then the cable car hanging on the right top. Not sure if that is going to work, but the one facing down to that section really looks good. So these are the images. So we're here now in Porto Moniz on the northwest corner of Madeira, and we were just hoping for a nice sunset, and it actually looks like that is going to happen. This place is known for its natural pools. You can see down here at the bottom, they're all natural pools where you can swim in. You got all these rock formations, and we actually found a real nice spot just behind that white house. But then we thought, hey, let's watch on top of this roof here. And we found this spot which looks absolutely spectacular. And the sun is now just behind that cloud there, over there. And when it gets lower, it's probably gonna light up this bay here, and hopefully these nice flowers that I want to have in my foreground. And then, yeah, you just have that rocky beach. I'm not gonna include those really nice people on the terrace there. They just asked us to make a picture from them, and then, yeah, Chris gave it to them, so really nice. But I think my shot will be a bit like this, but then in portrait mode. So yeah, really nice location, especially for a sunset. And we're just gonna wait here until that sun is gonna get lower. And I think we're looking at some magic that's gonna happen. And especially, I'm gonna turn you around again, when you look down this cove here, and especially on that section in the back, right there, there's a lot of spray from the waves hitting that beach, and you can already see at the end there that spray is actually being lit up by that setting sun. So once that sun is gonna appear, hopefully this bay will be filled with some really nice golden light. So yeah, gonna wait for a few minutes. Just look at that sunlight. It's been gone for a minute now again. Just look at the coast there. How that's lighting up there on that side. Fantastic. And just a minute ago, those flowers here were also in the foreground, being lit up. You can just see it with that, yeah, that watch here. It's fantastic. So here comes the light again. Quickly gonna take another shot. Absolutely epic. I am going to take you along on the RP16 Levada via Rodrigues hike. This hike is located on the north side of the island and goes through some really lush greenery. It's almost like walking through rainforest. And there are waterfalls, there are tunnels, there are so many amazing spots along this 3.7 kilometer long hike. And that's 3.7 kilometers one way, so we had to go back the same way as we came. But it's always next to those little levadas that you can see in this spot here on the left side. So the water flows down the mountain through these walls, and in a spot like this S-curve is always something that attracts me. So join me on this hike and hopefully I will do it justice, because it was absolutely amazing. Have to wait from time to time until people are passed to take a picture, but yeah, we just started, so let's see where this is going to take us. There are some people coming down telling that it was really worth it, so
1 kilometer long tunnel.
1 kilometer long tunnel, and we don't have any headlamps with us, so that's going to be interesting. So yeah, let's go. Now we found this amazing spot here on the walk, so we're just in for like maybe not even 1 kilometer. Just look at this business. Beautiful bend, and then that waterfall at the back going all the way up, and it's like disappearing into the fog up there. Looks fantastic. And then the rock wall on that side. So I'm quickly gonna take a picture. I have to be a bit careful because it's raining. You know, I've never photographed as much in bad conditions as this trip. But the rain, it gives a certain mood or atmosphere. These beautiful green leaves, so it's only getting better and better. Wow, guck mal.
Oha.
So really happy with this, taking this shot. Yeah, this is it. Hey Chris, now that you've been walking around with me for a few days, who's your favorite landscape photographer?
Oh, Thomas Heaton for sure. Yeah.
Who's second
Simon
then?
Baxter for sure, yeah. Simon Baxter is great.
So we just found another amazing spot over here. Really like this. Just have a look here. You know, people always call me the fog man, but just look at that mood and atmosphere. There are like 4 waterfalls flowing down. It's like one up there, up there, up there, and then a very small one here at the bottom. And I was just taking a portrait shot where I'm placing that small waterfall just between that leaf here. And I just want that leaf to be my foreground. And then the image disappears into that white fog on top. And I'm absolutely loving it. So this is the shot. Look at those tunnels. They are so small. Crazy hike. Oh, I have to be careful with the backpack and all the stuff. Whew.
Can I go?
So just look at this. Tunnel here. It's like 1 kilometer long and really narrow. So we just passed it. Completely soaked, as you can see, but oh, 1 kilometer in the dark, that was something. And the bad thing is we also have to go back, so let's get to the end of the hike. Hopefully it's worth all this effort. The things I do for this YouTube channel. So what a crazy hike, really nice. Not something I do every day, especially not in this environment, but the other side of the tunnel is just fantastic. It just looks like as if it's like a rainforest. Look at all those ferns. And I'm actually wondering this is the end. I don't know. Could be the end. Oh, man, I love it. I absolutely love it. So, soaking wet to the bone. But hey, who cares when it's this good? So it's not the end, but there's a really nice waterfall here on this section, and I'm using the live ND filter here. So ISO 200, f8, ND8, and that gives me like a 1 second shutter speed, and it looks really, really cool. You see, it's like a waterfall with a couple of sections, but you know, I didn't bring a tripod. You know, there's no way you can bring a tripod on a hike like this. So this is going to be a handheld shot, and then I'm gonna have to figure out how to cross that water there to continue. But I think this is worth the shot. Beautiful waterfall, fantastic. Fantastic, perfectly in focus, even at 1 second, you know, weather sealing, live ND, what a fantastic camera. So this in the back is the last waterfall, but it isn't as photogenic as the other one I was just at. It's almost impossible to get close up to the water. So yeah, what a crazy hike, absolutely amazing. So we're gonna make our way back to the car. You have a question?
Yeah. Who's your favorite landscape photographer?
Favorite landscape photographer? Well, I think you weren't quite far off the truth there with Tom Heaton, Nigel Danson, Ansel Adams. You know, there are so many.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I'll be honest with you. I hoped you put me on. Was I on the third spot then? Maybe.
Now that you mentioned Nigel, no. No, you can't publish that.
Oh, we're just having some fun here. So it's a new day here in Madeira, and today we're not really lucky with the sunrise. You can see there's some clouds, a couple of small gaps on the horizon, but the sun just didn't push through as we hoped. But just look at this epic, majestic view behind me. It was an absolute fantastic spot. The shots are nice, but a bit of light would have really made it. So we're trying to think of a different plan. And we can actually, if you look down here, there's like another viewpoint where you can access that rocky black beach here. So that's our a new plan to see if we can get some long exposures there. But the shot isn't bad, you know, it's not that bad. So I am going to show it. And yeah, in the meanwhile, we are going to drive around. It's like a 15-minute drive Maybe the sun pushes through after that. So let's see. But this is the shot from this viewpoint. It's absolutely amazing. So we made it down the path on the other side. You can see we were up there earlier. So we drove all the way around through the path here. And now we're standing on this side. Still the light didn't really kick through, but you see you get some rocks up here. The path leading towards those cliffs. You got an island, flowers over here. So it looks kind of nice. The only thing I'm not sure about is this section here being a bit boring. But yeah, it is what it is. So let me show you the composition that I found, and turn you around first. You see, I just wanted to catch this beautiful hill here with that sea stack over there. And what I found were these boulders here in the foreground, and you can see that these ones are all pointing to the center of the screen with some rocks around it. And I just tried to gain that line up towards that place. So let me try to show you on video here. I'll brighten up the image just a little bit so you see what I'm doing. So I positioned the camera a bit like this, and I hope you can see it in the footage here on the left of me. And you can see those leading lines of those rocks going to the center of the screen there. And I just tried to find a nice angle here where I included. My shot's a little bit wider, but I think that that makes for a really good composition. So at least that's something in my portfolio that I didn't have before. So kind of happy with that. Even without the light, I'm really pleased with this shot. So this is it. But the coolest thing about making this video about the 8 to 25 is that I got an assignment like we need pictures like this, you know. So I kind of have to put myself out of my comfort zone to get those results. And one of the requests they put in was, please take a close-up shot. And they showed like a shot of a little lizard, and I was like, it's a wide angle. You can't shoot macro with a wide angle. Well, now I'm trying it. I'm actually having a lot of fun here. Just look at those flowers here behind me. You see all these patches of white flowers. They look fantastic. And I just found on this white one here, there is a fly. And I figured, let's see how close I can get to the fly to get them in focus. So I've put the camera on manual focus, as you can see, and I've totally turned it to the left. So that should be 0.23 centimeters. Let's have a look. This is how close I can get to that flower with the fly. But just look at this image. It is shot with a 8 to 25 wide angle lens. And I'm just shooting a fly. Crazy. So tonight we had some big plans. A little bit further down the road here, there's a waterfall that falls on the beach. And my plan was photograph that waterfall with that beautiful setting sun behind it. Seemed like a pretty rock solid plan, but there's no way to get down on the beach, and the only way to get down was over these rocks. But the tide is too high, you know, we couldn't pass at the narrowest point without getting completely soaked or dragged into sea or whatever with our equipment. So we had to look for something else, and eventually we kind of settled for this spot here. As you can see, there are some pretty nice clouds lighting up in the sky. So this is going to be my shot. So this section of terraces here, those palm trees, then some houses on top, the hills disappearing in the back, just looked really nice. I tried looking for an angle that included this road, but I'm not sure if that road really is that photogenic. So I'll probably settle for a portrait shot on this side, but yeah, you never know. So yeah, let's wait. Hopefully we will get a nice sunset. We are trying to catch a sunrise. We haven't been that lucky with sunrises this week. So it looks like the skies are clear enough to hopefully produce some decent light. So that would be really nice. And I actually programmed a location, but driving up here we discovered that we were in the wrong location. But this isn't bad either. Oh yeah, this is good. Just look at it. This is a really nice spot. Some flowers in the foreground. There's even a large waterfall coming down there. So let's just get the camera and put in a shot here. So we just had a couple of minutes of spectacular light. Just that magical light just hit those mountain tops here, and especially that waterfall was completely lit up. So yeah, this was the kind of sunrise that we were hoping for. But as you can see, the sun is now behind that cloud, which is a shame. But I really liked this composition, so I have a shot that I took a little bit more to this side. So you've got the mountains on the right and that sunrise on the left with a little bit of foreground here. I think that looked really nice. So we're gonna wait here. Hopefully the sun will show itself again. But man, what a spectacular morning. Look at that island on the horizon, and for like the whole week I've been shooting with this wide angle, but this like screamed for a telephoto. So I just took one telephoto shot of that island with, I hope you can see it, that glow on the ocean, those clouds being lit up. It looked absolutely magical. So it seems today is gonna be like the worst day here in Madeira, and with worst I mean the least interesting conditions. For example, just look behind me. That is Pico da Arieiro. That's where we were a couple of days ago with all the clouds on it. But it's completely clear now, so it's expected to be a very, very clear day. So that sunrise was like really good. We hoped to get those forests here in the fog, but unfortunately the clouds are too low. So if you look behind me, we are looking over the clouds at the moment. So it is nice, but we drove by this spot and I noticed this section over here. And just look at how the fog is developing around these trees, and you can see those long shadows behind the trees. Actually looks really, really good. So I just picked out 50 to 200 and I'm just trying to capture a couple of interesting images with that fog and those lit up trees. Now, it's not the best light anymore, but that does not mean that it's not an interesting section over here. So yeah, just taking a couple of pictures here, all long telephoto shots, so not what the assignment is. But yeah, I think I've got the shots that I need for the assignment. So I think I can have a little fun with the telephoto also today. So I'm gonna pick it out a little bit more maybe. But yeah, it is a good trip. It is a good trip. You know, it's not over yet. So tomorrow I'm flying home. But yeah, I'm gonna take these shots first. So these are the shots of that foggy piece down here. I think it's definitely worth a stop. You know, sometimes the best spots are right next to a busy road. I've seen something here this afternoon. Let's go and see if it's worth photographing. Oh, look at that. That looks nice. So Madeira is such a crazy island. Earlier today we drove by this road that we just stopped now because I saw some really nice crooked trees there. But there was no atmospheric conditions at all. And like 2 hours later, all of a sudden this fog comes rising up and I was like, we gotta get to those trees. So we drove over here, stopped. I wanted to get to the trees and then completely hidden, overgrown, I found this bridge. So I couldn't resist to climb down here. It was really a climb. And let me tell you one thing about Chris I. Walker, the guy that I'm with. You know, he's called Chris I. Walker, but he should actually be called Chris Mountain Walker. This guy is just crazy. I'm just crawling down here on my knees and my hands, and this guy just like a goat walks down here. It's absolute crazy. So yeah. Here I am, but let me show you the bridge, because look at this business. like this really nice canyon, really nice vibe in it, atmosphere, and there's this very small waterfall down here. So what I am going to do is I'm going to make a shot where I'm going to include that waterfall, but I don't want to include the sky above the bridge. So I want to show the bridge and the canyon and a little bit down. So something like this. And that looks so freaking cool. So another nice feature of my camera, live ND. So I didn't bring the tripod. Obviously, look at this climb. But ND 64 ISO 200 f6.3 gives me half a second shutter speed, just enough to make this stream of water look nice. So I'm gonna take my shot here off the bridge, and I'm definitely sure that this is gonna be worth it. Nice and moody, something I don't have yet in my portfolio, so really happy with this shot. So I just walked from the other side of the waterfall to this side. There's the goat, you see him? Look where he is standing. Crazy, absolutely crazy. But I just walked around here to look at the waterfall from this side and look at this crazy atmosphere behind it. Again, live ND, keeping the image low so I get this leading line from that water flowing in the back. It just looks really, really cool. So there he is, Mr. Walker, aka Climber the Goat.
I don't recommend going down there.
No, if you don't, I definitely don't. So we just did one last shot there, but I thought the road was a little bit boring. So I've got my personal model to be in the middle of the road. Luckily no cars came, it's not that busy here. So yeah, I think it's a nice shot, so this is it. So the last evening here in Madeira, and we are hoping for one last nice sunset. It's actually looking kind of good. See, there's a really nice cloud over here, big open gap, and then some small clouds again on the horizon. So light-wise, it could be really nice, but we didn't really have an idea where to go for sunset. And look at this, there's just a waterfall falling down here at the end of the promenade. So walking to the end, hoping to get something on that rocky beach there. And maybe we can include that waterfall somehow. Let's see if we can make this last night a bit of a success. No idea why people built these stone towers, but let's hope they make them for good luck. So just added the stone. Hopefully it will give us some juicy images. So just before we went to this spot, we had dinner in a restaurant in Ponta del Sol, and while waiting for the main course, I looked down from the balcony, and I just want to share these two images because I think they're really nice. So these are two images from Ponta del Sol. So making our way over these rocky the rocky beach. You know, there's no sand almost nowhere in Madeira. It's all rocks except for a couple of volcanic black sand beaches and a couple of man-made sand beaches near Funchal. But I'm having a little bit more problems with those beaches than Chris, the goat. Just look at that guy. His balance is so much better than mine. It's absolutely crazy. He just walks there everywhere with a big video camera in his hand. Just steep down over these rocks. And I'm just using hands and feet and knees sometimes to get somewhere. But yeah, you know, I'll get there eventually. It just takes a little bit more time. But this is good, so he can scout around the corner, see if we can get to the waterfall. Oh, just look at that waterfall. That actually works nice. So, see if we can find a nice spot here. Preferably with a bit of waves in the foreground. That would be nice. So if you talk about one of the best sounds in the world, listen to those rocks being pulled back into the ocean. And then in about half an hour I'm gonna search for my composition. I'm not gonna do it now because the tide is getting lower, so chances are that I can walk a little bit further than I can do now in about half an hour. So that is why. So Chris, what was your favorite location?
It's difficult. The whole island's pretty amazing. I think like obviously Fanal Forest was pretty impressive because it was like so foggy and we kind of like just went like children from tree to tree and just explored what was happening without really knowing where we were.
Yeah.
But I think like those burnt trees.
Yeah, that was
really
nice.
enjoyed that.
That was a nice, that felt a bit like our find, you know, not the low-hanging fruit that everyone's photographing. So, that's been an amazing trip, you know. Hopefully this will be the dessert. And he has another day here, you know. I'm flying out tomorrow. And tomorrow evening he's gonna spam me with like the best footage ever from this island, you know.
I'll just be going from cocktail bar to cocktail bar.
And then driving home through these streets here. So the sea is a little bit lower than earlier, and as you can see, the sun is about to set. I think it's like 10 minutes left. And all these pebbles, they are like really wet, you know, it looks fantastic, and there's a bit of spray around the corner here. So I'm really happy with that. I'm just trying to get a couple of telephoto shots, and what I like about the telephoto is that I can really get those foreground rocks here out of focus. So I'm just using f2.8, completely zooming in with the 5200. And yeah, I use this. I'm gonna use these rocks here to put my camera on. I'm just placing it on those rocks to get a bit of a steady foreground. Focusing on the background, so not on the pebbles. To hopefully get a bit of blurriness in that image. So we've now lost the light for maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes. It's behind that one cloud, so when it comes from underneath that cloud, I think we have maximum 5 minutes, maybe even less in this time of the world. The sun just drops really fast, but look at the clouds lighting up here. So we are in for some absolute magical light. So yeah. It's going to be one of those fantastic last evenings, at least. That's what I hope, you know. You never know for sure, but it would be nice. It would definitely be nice. The light isn't really kicking off, unfortunately. But that doesn't make it less fun, so I am just going to take this shot. So I'm going to lay down on these wet rocks here to find the perfect composition to include a lot of those wet rocks in the foreground, because it's just a beautiful scene. So that was it, the last sunset from Madeira, and yeah, it was a nice trip, really nice trip. Sunset was a little bit disappointing, but I hope these images still worked out that you've just seen. You know, the pebbles were really nice here and the waterfall. But yeah, it was a challenging week, challenging myself with using one lens, the 8-25, wide angle shots mainly, and not having the diversity to switch between subjects. Yeah, that was quite something. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this series from Madeira. I've recorded so much content, I have no idea how many weeks I can fill with this stuff. But I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments. And yeah, I think it's definitely worth this trip. So thank you for watching. And I want to thank someone else. Chris, I want to thank you on the video. So if you don't know who Chris is, check out his Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Subscribe to his channel. You know, he's got some amazing stuff up there. He's just been to Algeria in the desert, like 40 degrees all week. I've seen some amazing stuff. So thanks, Chris, for your kindness this week. had some nice laughters, and I learned a lot from him, especially for filming. So I hope this YouTube channel will have a little bit more better quality of video material. Yeah. All the B-roll material in this trip is almost all supplied by Chris. So thank you very much. So, and I hope to see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.